Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 2 of Antiracism and UDL. I'm very excited to share our first content module. Last week was all about kind of getting to know each other and some introductory activities. There's a couple of things I wanted to bring to people's attention that I've added for this week. So first up here is there is a short video and explanation about some ways that you can personalize YouTube in order to increase access and to promote multiple means of representation within your YouTube videos. It's a really short 3-minute video I made just kind of highlighting some of those strategies. And then here is our UDL in a nutshell. So in looking at our responses so far and in looking at our participants, we have participants that are super familiar with UDL, that have taken a number of courses from myself and others in district, and know what UDL is inside and out in the context that we've been using it in Melrose so far. And then we have some people that are brand new, either brand new to the district or haven't really partaked in our PD opportunities before. So I wanted to make sure that I gave some opportunities for people to build their background knowledge in UDL. So I've added a section here called UDL in a nutshell. So you'll see first is a set of slides that we use to kind of help people familiarize themselves with UDL. There's the slides themselves, and then there's a screencast of the slides. And then I've also included the UDL guidelines from CAST, and then the UDL progression rubric also from CAST. Great resources for everybody, but especially helpful for those that are just starting in the UDL journey and really need to kind of understand what that is. This course isn't going to get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to talk more about how do we start planning with the UDL framework to make sure that our courses and our content is providing equitable access for all students. So here we go into this week's module. This module, we're going to talk all about honor, and beginning with honor, honoring ourselves, honoring our students, honoring everybody's backgrounds. So really thinking about how does that play into our classroom experience. So you're going to start here. Our module learning targets this week. We're going to continue to develop our community of learners, explain the codes of power versus the codes of honor, justify the need to just keep teaching, and apply codes of honor by describing an upcoming authentic learning experience. So those are the module targets for this week. Nothing to do there, just read what they are. Then we have our engage. I found 2 very short videos. One is about 50 seconds and one is about a minute from the author of our text, Antiracism and UDL. One is really kind of talking about the content we're going to get into in this text, but one is geared towards new teachers. And I know we have lots of people here who are beyond their first 5 years, but the message that she sent, especially coming out of a year after the pandemic, really resonated with me in my 18th year. So I'm sure it will resonate with lots of us. So your goal is for this activity, you're going to watch the 2 videos, and then you're going to write a 1 to 2 sentence initial reaction. That's it. You can choose to respond to others. You can start a conversation, but the only requirement is to watch the 2 videos and write a 1 to 2 sentence initial reaction. Explore is always going to be our reading. So you are reading literally from the front cover of the book all the way up through page 32. And so there's a foreword there by Samira Rice. There is a prologue, and then there is 2 chapters of the text that you're going to read. So you're going to read all the way up to page 32. You're going to stop here at the safety checklist. And there's some questions throughout that you might want to think about and ask yourself. While you're reading, you want to take notes of some kind. You want to either write in the margins or take notes digitally. I've gotten really into sketchnoting, where you kind of draw pictures and images and words that all kind of connect the reading together to give you a picture. But you're going to want to take some sort of notes so that you can refer back to them for the explain and the evaluate portions of the module. After you've read, you're going to start to think about your thinking in an outward way. So you're going to have every module, you're going to have an opportunity to think in an outward way where everybody's going to be able to see and read your thinking, and then in an inward way where it's just between you and I. So this is your outward way. So in your explain, you're going to choose one of these two visible thinking routines: square, circle, triangle, or color symbol image. And you're going to use those prompts to help you process the reading. You're going to link your response. You can either do a Flipgrid, you could do a writing response, you could do some sort of image. If you draw on paper, you could take a picture. Whatever it is that you're going to do for your response, you're going to link your response as your answer to your question. And then you're going to reply to at least one colleague with an extending thought and a probing question. So that's for your explain. After explain, you're going to elaborate. On page 7 of our text, you'll see this chart, and it depicts Delpit's codes of power versus Fitzgerald's codes of honor. And it talks about the differences between those two. And you're going to reflect on the two ideas and think about them. And then after reading the whole reading, so this is what you do, you want to do these in order, you're going to think about what's a way that you can support a code of honor in your classroom. So what's a routine or a structure or a learning experience that you're going to set up in your classroom for the fall, first day of school, that's going to help support one of the codes of honor. And you're going to share your idea either as a link to a document that you create, a Flipgrid, in writing, just in the question, however you want, but make sure that it's viewable by all, because we want to be able to crowdsource these ideas and think about how can we leverage them to help support not only each other, but our colleagues as we're moving into the start to the school year. And then finally, we're going to do our evaluate. If you've taken PDs with me before, this is a new piece that I'm adding to my professional developments this summer, is this idea of inward reflection. Oftentimes I ask you to reflect, and I ask you to really put yourself out there in front of the group. And I've really gotten some good feedback about how people would wish there was an opportunity to have a conversation. Well, this is going to be our opportunity to have that conversation. I want you to be vulnerable, and I want you to know that this is 100% judgment free. I am here to help you. I am here to support you. I am here to help push your thinking. And I want you to feel comfortable enough to have that conversation with me, whether it's in writing or over a Screencastify video or whatever it is. But it's a conversation between the two of us. It's not going to be something that the others in the course can see. So I've given you some ideas for visible thinking routines you can use, or you can write an unstructured response. The only must is that it has to meet these 3 success criteria. It has to make reference to at least one source found in the module. It has to connect the content of the module to your current and hopefully future practice. And it has to conclude with a thought-provoking question or a next step that you're going to consider. And then you're going to turn that in whatever way you want. I wouldn't suggest Flipgrid for this because that's a public forum for our PD, not public, but anyone in our PD can see those. So if you want to do an audio or a video response, I would suggest Screencastify or 123apps.com. Those have some great video recording or audio recording tools that can be just between the two of us. That will be the end of our module for this week. And then make sure you turn everything in. The due date is next Sunday, but remember, as long as everything is in by the final due date, you'll receive full credit for the PDP, full PDPs for your course. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'm looking forward to reading and learning with all of you. Have a great week. Bye.